The rain lashed against the decaying facade of Blackthorn Manor, a relic on the outskirts of Ravenswood, a town steeped in ghost stories and unspeakable truths. The mansion stood as a sentinel of dread, its broken windows like hollow eyes watching over the cursed grounds. For decades, locals avoided its shadow, whispering of an artifact hidden within, a chest said to hold a curse capable of bringing ruin to the world. But greed is louder than fear. Three treasure hunters, Jake, a skeptical leader, Clara, an ambitious historian, and Will, a desperate thrill seeker, had ventured into the manor, driven by the promise of riches. Armed with flashlights and a map stolen from an occult shop, they found the chest in a grand hall littered with broken furniture and faded paintings. The chest was an eerie masterpiece, its wood blackened and engraved with symbols that seemed to pulse under the dim light. "This is it," Clara whispered, her voice trembling with excitement. Jake hesitated, unease creeping up his spine, but he pried the chest open. The air turned icy, and an unnatural silence fell. Inside was a single object, a porcelain doll. Its face was cracked, its eyes dull and lifeless. Yet something about its grin, stretched too wide, felt wrong. Before they could react, the flashlight in Jake's hand flickered and died. A childlike giggle echoed through the room. "Did you hear that?" Will stammered, stepping back. The doll's head turned with a bone-cracking sound, its lifeless eyes glowing crimson. Shadows erupted from the chest, swirling like a storm. The hall became a cacophony of chaos. Objects levitated, whispers filled the air, and the hunters screamed in terror. Only Clara stumbled out alive, clutching the doll, her mind shattered. The artifact was no treasure, it was a prison, and Annabelle was free. Miles away, Olivia was trying to rebuild her life after a bitter divorce. Her two children, 12-year-old Ellie, curious and imaginative, and 7-year-old Max, timid but sweet, were her world. Their modest new home in the suburbs was supposed to mark a fresh start. 2 days after moving in, Olivia found a package on their doorstep. It was wrapped in ancient, weathered paper, sealed with black wax. She hesitated but brought it inside. The kids watched as she unwrapped it, revealing the doll. "Creepy," Max muttered, but Ellie's face lit up. "She's vintage. Can I keep her?" Olivia relented despite her unease, placing the doll on Ellie's dresser. That night, the first sign of trouble appeared. Max ran into Olivia's room, trembling. "She's watching me," he whispered, pointing to his room. Olivia reassured him, but the doll's glassy eyes seemed to follow her as she carried Max back to bed. The next morning, Ellie's behavior changed. She became unusually withdrawn, drawing unsettling images of the doll surrounded by shadowy figures. Max refused to sleep alone, claiming he heard whispers at night. Olivia dismissed it as stress from the move, until she began hearing faint giggles echoing through the house. When she tried to get rid of the doll, it always returned. Olivia threw it in the trash. It reappeared on Ellie's bed. She burned it, but the next morning, it sat at the kitchen table. Each time it seemed more menacing. Its cracks deepened, its grin wider. Desperate, Olivia contacted Dr. Evelyn Ward, a renowned paranormal investigator. The moment Evelyn saw the doll, she froze. "You don't understand what you've brought into your home," she whispered. "This isn't just a cursed object, it's Annabelle." Evelyn explained that Annabelle was a vessel for a malevolent entity, a fragment of something far darker. The doll wasn't just cursed, it was a doorway for the entity to feed on fear and grow stronger. "She doesn't want the doll anymore," Evelyn said. "She wants a host." The Harrington home became a living nightmare. At night, the air grew thick with dread. The sound of children's laughter echoed through the halls, and the walls seemed to whisper. Shadows twisted unnaturally, creeping closer to the family. Olivia woke one night to find the doll sitting on her chest, its crimson eyes glowing. Ellie became the entity's target. She claimed the doll spoke to her, teaching her secrets. One night, Olivia found Ellie sleepwalking, standing before the doll and whispering in an ancient language. Evelyn warned that Annabelle was using Ellie as a conduit to manifest fully. The breaking point came when Max disappeared. Olivia found him locked in a closet, clutching his knees and sobbing. "She wants Ellie," he cried. "She told me." Evelyn revealed the only way to stop Annabelle was to return her to Blackthorn Manor, the site of the original ritual that had imprisoned her. Together, Olivia, her children, and Evelyn prepared for the confrontation, knowing they might not survive. The manor was alive with darkness. As they entered, the air grew colder, and whispers filled the halls. Evelyn began the ritual, chanting incantations in a forgotten tongue. Annabelle's voice filled the air, a guttural growl that reverberated through the walls. "You think you can stop me? I am eternal." The doll levitated, its porcelain cracking further as shadowy figures emerged from the walls. Max screamed as one of them lunged, but Olivia shielded him. Ellie, possessed by the entity, began to chant along with Evelyn in a voice not her own. Evelyn realized the truth too late. The ritual wasn't meant to destroy Annabelle, it was meant to free her. The doll shattered, and a massive shadowy figure emerged, its form twisting and writhing as it let out an unearthly roar. "Run!" Evelyn screamed. Olivia grabbed her children and fled as the manor collapsed. Outside, they turned to see the shadow engulf the building before dissipating into the night sky. Weeks later, life seemed to return to normal. The Harringtons moved again, trying to forget the nightmare. But one night, Olivia found Ellie standing in the dark, her back turned. "Ellie?" Olivia called softly. Ellie turned, her eyes glowing crimson. She smiled, and in a voice that wasn't hers, she whispered, "Mom, she's not gone. She's inside me now."